We're recording because we actually have someone on our team that translates these webinars for us for our Spanish speaking families, which is just amazing. She did a FAFSA night for us, translated all the questions and answers, and she did a really great job. So she's going to do it for us again tonight, not in real time. We actually had her in a different room.
Okay, we have 19 people here already. Fabulous. See some familiar names in here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I see Asitu's here, Brandon. Who else?
Heidi's here.
Vanessa. Two Vanessa, both Vanessas are here.
Rave's here.
I love calling them out. I bet they love it. I see some parents. Good evening, Ms. Cologne. Nice to see you virtually on our participant list. Welcome, welcome. Get started in a few minutes, guys. Just letting more people's in.
Thank you, Miss Levy. Kiara's here.
Charisma's here.
Oh, great. Hey, Charisma.
I saw Charisma. Marsha Lee is here. I hope you guys have some good questions to ask from what we worked on in class.
Hey, Naja.
Ulysses, hello, Ulysses.
Let's give it another minute and then we'll just get started.
Yep, no problem. These are all lovely juniors we're naming our college representatives, so you may be seeing their names on some applications next year.
I'm glad you all are showing up. This is good.
Yes, we've been trying to create the buzz. I think they're very excited about this time of year, you know, in their junior year. It's super important. They see all the seniors getting accepted into college right now. We have some things in the building to celebrate it. So it's exciting.
This is where it starts.
This is where it starts. All right, so as people are still trickling in, I just wanted to welcome all of our scholars, our families, and our panelists to our annual college night. I am Julie Casso, I'm the head of the guidance department, and we're really happy that everyone could join us this evening and that we were able to host such an informative event for you. This evening, we brought together a diverse panel of admission reps to talk to you about the application process and some specific programs that you may be interested in. We have been collaborating with this wonderful team of representatives for quite some time now and are very thankful for their time, attention, and care that they have given our students through the years. Tonight, you will hear about many of the topics that have been discussed in your junior meetings with your counselors. And we encourage you to take notes and feel free to put any questions that you may have in the chat, which is located at the bottom of the screen. We will record all of your questions as the night goes on and conclude with a Q&A session in about 45 minutes to 50 minutes from now, at which time we will pose all of the questions to the reps so we can dig a little bit deeper. So without further ado, I will turn this over to our wonderful counselors so they may say hi.
Hello, everybody. It's Miss Levy, your lovely counselor for last name G through M. Excited you're all here.
Hi, everybody. Miss Ferrara here. Hope everyone's having a good night.
Hi everyone, Miss Reed here. Excited to see you all here.
And with that, we'll get the show started and turn it over to Mr. Broccoli representing SUNY Binghamton.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to see all of you tuning in tonight. So we're gonna go through a pretty rapid fire overview of a bunch of different schools. So we're gonna start with Binghamton, and hopefully we'll get to a question part at the end of this where your minds are open to a lot of different opportunities and maybe some new thoughts and questions. So I'm gonna actually share my screen as I just introduced myself here. So I love coming to Equality normally on a typical year, even virtually though, it works well. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions for Binghamton University. I'm actually based in the Bronx, but I love working with students coming from all over the world to show up at a place like Binghamton, where I went for my undergrad and graduate studies. Just a really quick overview. Binghamton's part of the State University of New York, or SUNY. You're going to hear from some other SUNYs today on the public front. Now, what we're talking about here, though, is a huge system. There are 64 campuses. Binghamton is one of the university research centers. So I'm just going to walk you through a 2-minute video so we stay on time. We're about 3 hours from the Bronx in upstate New York, 900-acre campus. It's a big place. 14,000 undergrads coming in from well over 100 countries, all 50 states, certainly some of the best and brightest from New York as a New York public. But this is your typical day in the life, walking on campus. You know, everybody lives there. It's a residential college. There's no commuting to campus in this sense. Between the cafes, the classes, the University Art Museum, the Student Union, there's 450 different clubs and organizations run by our students. Now, this is the center of campus in its sense, but right outside of the main part of campus are our residential communities. These are little colleges, little villages per se, that you live within. Mountain View and College in the Woods, these are two communities I lived in as a student. We have Newing and Dickinson right here. Each have their own themes, their own traditions, their own dining halls, their own competitions between buildings. It makes a bigger campus like Binghamton actually feel quite a bit smaller. We're in upstate New York, right? So there's a 200-acre nature reserve right on campus. This is actually part of our campus, a great place to go escape and explore the natural world. And then right down the road is the city of Binghamton. It's a small college city. This is our downtown center. This adds to your student life there as a student. But a lot of new additions happening. About $250 million worth of new engineering research centers for smart energy research, as well as healthcare research. These are areas the world needs a lot of help in. Actually, one of our professors just won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for inventing the lithium-ion battery. So these are big areas of focus at Binghamton. However, no matter what you plan to be, we are a liberal arts school. There's 6 different academic colleges, be it engineering, business, nursing, the pre-med, pre-law track, the sciences at large, the arts, but everybody will take courses within the liberal arts as well. That's your sort of flexible background there as a Binghamton student. You all have that versatility through the liberal arts focal point there. Plus many research opportunities at the R1 research level, plenty of opportunities, even starting in your first year. Then there's the Bearcats. Real quick, we have 21 Division I teams. We love the Bearcats. They bring a lot of pride and spirit to campus. However, that's just one of the many things you'll do on a given night or weekend or weekday night. This is just many of the small opportunities that add up to a lot of big opportunities when you talk about the life and your typical flow on campus. So when you look at this from an overarching level, sort of Binghamton, where we fit into this world, there's about 90 public colleges and universities in New York. New York is massive when it comes to public opportunities. You're going to hear from some excellent ones as we go through this, as well as some really good out-of-state options too. Binghamton is, on the academic front, we tend to have the highest academic standards. So the one quick bit of advice I'm going to give you all here. If you're thinking about a school like Binghamton, particularly with those research opportunities I was hinting at, being at the public Ivy side of this, you want to be early in your application process, as early as you can be. We're talking about students, about 40,000 applications coming in from all over the world, about 3,000 first-year spots. We're trying to make sure there's a path for everybody. We have an excellent EOP opportunity program, so educational opportunity programs, EOP, especially if your grades are on the uphill climb. This is your last year to really shine at the end of junior year, so keep up that momentum. But we're going to be looking at all aspects of our students coming in terms of what you're bringing to the table. It's an incredibly diverse campus, but again, we're bringing in students from all over the world to live together, to learn together, and to be a part of this larger setting of what it means to be in New York, but also be close enough where internships and job wise to New York City. So I'm going to pass this from Binghamton to out of state, not too far away, down to Delaware. So I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to go right down to Delaware State.
Not too far away, right? All right, guys, appreciate you for having me today. Thank you all for being here. I know it's the evening time. It's usually the time to relax. So I'm very excited to see that all the parents and students are on here today trying to get some college information to better their future and their lives. So my name is Eric Soler. I'm one of the admission counselors here at Delaware State University. We are the most diverse contemporary HBCU in America. We are located in Dover, Delaware. So that's the state capital of Delaware. I'm sure since you guys are in New York, you know where Delaware is. Delaware, we consider Delaware the melting pot of the Northeast. So we're in the center of all major cities on the Northeast coast. So we have New York City right there, which is yourselves, which is about 2 to 2.5 hours away, give or take. All the major cities in Jersey, Philadelphia is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Wilmington's 45 minutes away. We have Baltimore, which is 1.5 hours, and DC, which is only 2 hours away. So we have a lot of opportunities for a lot of job opportunities, a lot of internship opportunities, and a lot of placement opportunities for during your college career here at Delaware State and after. So furthermore, I'm gonna get into a quick little video.
I know my parents loved me, stand behind me, come what may. I know now that I'm ready, yeah, for I finally heard them say, it's a different world, ooh, than where you come from. The city is now, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we focus on our goal, you can decide, we can take care. Hey, just remember that you and too. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world than where you come from.
All right. So who is Delaware State University? Delaware State University, we have currently over 5,000 students on campus. We have a 16-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So for every 16 students, there is a faculty or professor. Our class sizes range from 5 students all the way to 30, give or take, depending on what major you have on campus. In our freshman profile, our average GPA for our freshmen here is a 3.15 GPA, which is a B average, which is amazing. Our global reach, we reached out to 26 different states across the country. Our nation's capital, which is DC, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and 41 different countries. So we have a strong international base here on campus as well for a lot of students that come from Europe, Australia, Africa, so on and so forth. Okay. We have over 40 majors and 30 minors. So depending on what you're interested in, we do have a lot of opportunities here on campus. I will drop the view book in the chat after I unshare my screen, just so you have a copy of this. But our most popular majors on campus, one of them is an aviation program. So we have a 4-year aviation bachelor's degree. What is aviation? Aviation is when you basically learn how to fly an aircraft or an airplane. You want to become a pilot or even a mechanic. You learn how to break down and repair aircrafts. So currently at Delaware State, we have our own landing strip about 10 minutes away from campus. With our own hangars, and we own about 15 to 18 different aircrafts that you actually work on throughout your 4 years of college. In our College of Business on the 3rd floor, we actually have a flight simulator on campus as well. So that's pretty interesting. And a lot of students love to take advantage of that flight simulator. We have our College of Business, which is the Bank of America building on campus as well. And our Mass Communications department, where students learn how to study videography, photography, radio production, TV broadcasting. A lot of students come here to learn how to be anchors and on TV talent. So we have a lot of opportunities on campus for you to get involved. Campus life. So campus life, how do you get involved on campus? So we have over 100+ different student organizations on campus and counting. Anything such as MPAC, Greek life, fraternity and sorority life. We have Student Government Association. Under each major, we have different clubs and organizations that pertains to your major. That way you get a lot of opportunities to network and build those assets to make sure you have a better career once you graduate your degree. We have over 8 residential halls on campus, and we have 18 NCAA Division I sports. Our Division I sports for men, we have baseball, basketball, cross country, football, and track. Where our women, we have basketball, bowling, cross country, equestrian. I always say that wrong. I'm sorry, but it's horseback riding. It's pretty interesting. A lot of our international students come here for our horseback riding team. We have golf, indoor, outdoor track, lacrosse. We're actually one of the only HBCUs that actually offer lacrosse as a sport. Soccer, softball, tennis, and volleyball. And now I'm gonna give you a little glimpse into our residential hall on campus.
Welcome to Tubman Law's Residential Hall, the latest, up-to-date, up-to-fashion, whatever you want on campus as far as a student that you will want for your student housing. Let's take a look.
This is the newest building on campus, and it has 5 floors. Each floor has a laundry room, a social room, a study lounge, and as well as a trash chute. The first floor has a plethora of TVs, as well as a study lounge that opens up to the school's scenery. This residence hall is co-ed. Each suite shares 2 rooms, and each room houses 1 to 2 students. There are also rooms that are apartment style, as well as singles. Each suite shares their own bathroom and showers with 2 sinks. There are 2 other freshman dorms, Jenkins as well as the Evers Hall. Upperclassmen dorms consist of university courtyards and the university village. The commons are an off-campus residence that are also available for upperclassmen.
All right. So as you saw, we have traditional dorms and all the way up to suite-style dorms with their own kitchens and individual rooms in them. So there's a lot of opportunities for comfortable living on our campus. So freshman admissions requirements. So if you are a junior on this call, the application will open in August. If you are a senior on this call, we are rolling admissions, so it's not too early to apply. If you get accepted, you will have a spot on this campus. We do not limit our spots on campus. Our freshman requirements, we have an application, desu.edu/apply-now. You will click that link or go to that link on our website and apply come August. We have a $35 application fee. We require your official high school transcripts, your SAT and ACT scores. If you are a senior on this call, our fee waiver is GIFT 2021, all caps, all together. You can waive your $35. So you can take that $35 to the nearest bodega, get yourself a chopped cheese, whatever you guys like to eat on a Thursday night and save that money, right? 19 core requirements. So we actually look at every grade from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year in high school. When they say only your junior and senior grades only matter, that is not true. We look at everything. So you always got to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's in your classrooms. We make sure they have a C or above. We do not accept D's or F's. Your GPA requirement is a 2.0 or better to be considered. And the SAT requirement is an 800, which is reading and math combined. We are test optional. So if you were not able to take the SATs, or you're not able to, or you cannot afford it, or you simply don't want to, some students don't want to take the SATs because they feel like they're bad at test taking, which I completely understand. We are admissions test optional. So that means on your application, you'll click yes that you want to be test optional, and we'll waive your SAT and ACT requirements to be accepted to Delaware State. That's a brief overview. Hopefully I get to go into the full-blown presentation with you guys in the near future. I definitely appreciate your time. I'm gonna pass it over to the next presenter. There is my contact information if you have any questions or need assistance with the application process. So I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
If I may just jump in here, any scholars that have joined late, please put any questions that you may have in the chat located at the bottom of your screen, and we're going to collect all of your questions and answer them at the end of the evening. Thank you. I think you're on mute, Miss Baldwin.
You're muted, Ann.
Sorry about that. Thank you. This is the first time I've done this, so bear with me. Basically, this is a view of the campus in the fall. We're located about 5.5 hours from New York City, and about 20% of our students do come from the city. We're one of the smaller SUNY schools. We have 3,500 students, and the average class size is 18 students to 1 faculty member. So I'll show you on a map the view of where we're located exactly. We're south of Buffalo, south of Rochester. Binghamton is about 2 hours, not quite 2 hours, to the east of us, and we're right on the Pennsylvania state line. Alfred is a school that has both associate and bachelor's degree programs, and it makes it kind of interesting because if students apply to Alfred for the bachelor's and you have almost all the requirements, but maybe you're just missing 1 or 2, we'll offer you the associate degree. And upon completion of that, you simply roll over and finish your last 2 years. And so you will have both your associate and your bachelor's degree, okay? We offer over 80 majors. This is a view of the campus from the air. We're missing a lot down in the right-hand corner is a lot of the residence halls. And one thing with Alfred, you do apply to a definite major. Everything, the 80 majors there, you do apply when you make an application to a specific major. For those students who may not know exactly what they want to do, we do have an undeclared major, which students can participate in that for up to the first year. At that time, you do need to make a decision on a major, okay? Every area academically has different requirements for admissions. So it gets kind of crazy at times, but if you'll contact the admissions office, we're more than happy to help you and give you the information that you might need. I'll just quickly show you the different colleges we have. The School of Arts and Science, the School of Architecture, Management and Engineering, and a School of Applied Technology. The School of Applied Technology is a totally hands-on program. Those would be courses such as building construction, culinary arts, automotive, motorsports, and those would pretty much your 5 days a week you're working with your hands in a specific area. You really don't take other courses except what applies to that major. The other schools, the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Architecture, Management and Engineering, classroom, and then it's project oriented. In other words, what you learn in class, you're going to apply to different projects. And yes, we do have a college farm. We have an 800-acre farm, and the campus is 200 acres in addition to that. Teaching faculty, they're here to teach. We don't have teaching assistants. We don't have grad assistants. Basically, the faculty are there. They serve as student advisors, and the average class size will be 20 to 25 students. We have full academic support and tutoring services. We work with the students on pretty much a 24/7 basis. If you are having difficulty with the course that you're studying and there's not a person there to work with you, we also work with computerized advising and tutoring. So it's pretty much not only peer tutors and faculty, but also we do have the computer support system. The campus is totally residential. We have 14 residence halls on campus, and basically they also are special interests and living centers for students. For example, the architect students have a wing of 1 residence hall, They don't all have to live there, but the ones that do pretty much have the opportunity to work on their projects whenever they feel like it, because there's kind of a classroom situation set up in that dorm. Campus life, there are over 100 clubs and organizations on campus. If there's something that you're interested in and you don't find it at Alfred, we really encourage you to apply to start a new organization. You become the leader of that. It gives you a lot of leadership opportunities at that time. This financial aid at Alfred, about 92% of our students have financial aid. So that's something that we've been able to work with students, not only with financial aid, but there also are academic scholarships, which are independent of the financial aid office. Okay, students who are finishing up at Alfred, 98% of them find jobs or continue on with their education. And of the ones who go to work, 95% of them are working in the fields that they've studied. So it's a really good percentage on all of that. Moving back just a minute into activities, we are Division III for both men and women's sports, and there's quite a wide variety of sports across the board. Students who are interested in applying to Alfred, we're on what's called rolling admissions, and the applications will start in August that you can start applying. We accept either the SUNY or the Common App, and we start accepting students in October. The only thing I would say is if someone is interested in one of the applied technology areas, we encourage you to apply early in the fall because those are limited in numbers. There's small classes, the lab areas and workspaces are set. So once they're filled, they're filled. In the areas that have classrooms and labs, you can always move additional seating into an open classroom, but you can't do that if you're in a lab that's working on automotives or culinary, for example. And as I mentioned earlier, the requirements do vary. So it's important to check on your majors. Sometimes we'll have students say, but my best friend had such and such an average and he was accepted to Alfred. That would be for a specific area. For example, the engineering would have far more math and science requirements than would a person who's going into culinary, who needs to know more about the measurements in the cook. So it's the different requirements across the board. See, what else can I say quickly? 98%. We do encourage students to visit if you have an opportunity. In the past, this year was a little different. We haven't been able to do a lot of on-campus things, although we have been able to open up daily visits again. So we do have visits from Monday through Friday, and we do virtual appointments as well. If you have questions, my contact is here. I am one of the representatives from New York City. There are two of us. And my colleague and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you very much. And I wish all the juniors a lot of success in your search for colleges. And now we will go on to one of the city schools. We'll go to Cooney Hunter.
Hi, thank you. And thank you for the invite here. My name's Ann Lanza. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Hunter College. I've been with Hunter for about going on my third year. I think this is my third year. I can't count very well. I majored in English, so I'm a very bad counter. But Hunter College, the motto is Mihi Cura Futuri, the care of the future is mine. I think a lot of the most popular majors at Hunter are ways to give back to the community. A lot of our, like the most popular majors are nursing, social work, education. things that kind of are like helping people in a way, whether it's scientifically or human services or anything like that. So that's kind of how I take Hunter to be and what kind of students are there, I would hope. But we were founded, I think, I don't remember the year anymore. I know that it's the same year that the Metropolitan Museum of Art opened up, and it was in February 14th, but I don't remember the year. And we used to be an all educators college, and it used to be all women. But now we've grown, we have over 70 majors, and I could get into some of that a little bit more. But our main campus is on East 68th Street and Lexington Avenue, about 4 blocks away from Central Park, if you could kind of tell on this map here. We do have 4 residential halls. Only one of them is open right now for the fall term, and that's Brookdale Residence Hall. And that's where we have general students, but we also have our freshman scholars and the Macaulay honor students that reside there. Although most people do commute to the campus, Hunter is more of a commuter school. I think about 80% of the students are commuters. And a lot of students that come to Hunter are from the 5 boroughs, but we do get a ton of international students and students from around the US. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about Hunter and maybe the CUNY system in general. I used to go to Queensborough Community College before I transferred to University at Buffalo a while back. But I loved that it just wasn't, it didn't seem very traditional. QCC has a beautiful campus. I think Hunter has a great campus if you're looking for something that's just one campus altogether in the middle of a city. But I just like that it's really not that traditional. There are a lot of students who are high school or like just graduated from high school and they're like college age, but I've met so many people that change career after career after career, lawyers that want to become artists. The oldest person I've met was, I think, 93, and she was applying for as a transfer student. And she graduated from NYU in 1956. And I was like, that's amazing. That's when my dad was born. So I kind of really like that was that's kind of like the population from what I could see from Hunter. The Facebook group is actually very active as well. So if you wanted to get a real idea from, and I could also link in the chat something called Unibuddy, but if you want to get an idea of what it's like to be a student at Hunter, I think Reddit can be a great resource. I think the Facebook student group could also be a great resource if you want to see from a student's perspective. In terms of majors, like I've mentioned a little bit before, our most popular majors are psychology, nursing, social work, education. Nursing especially is really popular. And popular pre-professional tracks are pre-law and pre-health. So these are all great options, and these are a lot of the options that students graduate with, but we also have stuff within theater or studio art or dance. So we have over 70 majors. We have several different types of minors, and usually students will either double major or minor in something because it's required for you to take the CUNY core requirement or the Common Core kind of like focus. So regardless of what you major in, you would still have to take English or math or foreign language and things like that. So it's sort of like a well-rounded degree experience. But I think all majors are treated very well at Hunter. I feel like my college was great, but my college experience, a lot of the career fairs centered around engineering type of majors. So it didn't feel as like equal when I was in college, and I kind of like that. It feels a little bit more like that at Hunter, that everyone is taken seriously regardless of what major they have. So with student life, we do have over 100 clubs. We're Division III athletics. We have 18 teams. I can't remember every single one of them. I know that the coaches are very wonderful. They're nice. One of them's working in my office right now since he can't do anything with his basketball team right now. But they're wonderful people and they just want the best for their students. I'm not a sports person, so I really have no idea kind of what they do. I'm sorry. I try to remember. I just know that the teams are great. And if you are part of a team, your GPA can end up being higher than the average ending or graduating GPA from college. So I think it's wonderful if you can join something like that, or if you wanted to join one of the clubs or start one of your own clubs. I used to have, I don't really talk about this, but I used to have a ton of social anxiety and I hated joining clubs. I hated public speaking, which is very ironic now because now I do that a lot. But it's part of the college experience is sort of making yourself a little bit uncomfortable in a good way, not in a bad way, but just try to go for opportunities that you may not have gone for before, or something that you can't exactly picture yourself in, but that's something that you would like to do. So don't listen to that voice in your head. That's kind of what happens to me all the time, even to this day. So just go for it. If something sounds really interesting to you and you may feel like it's not something that who you were in high school, it doesn't matter. Just try to go for it. And there's a ton of opportunities here that you can partake in, whether you're into arts or theater or professional based sort of clubs or a radio station or things like that. So it's definitely still available at Hunter for you to do. And I highly recommend it. Even if it's a commuter campus, for the most part, there's still a lot of opportunities to get involved in the campus. Like I've said before, we have 4 residential halls, but almost all of them are down right now. Brookdale is the only one that's open, and most students do commute to the school. If you're looking to reside in one of the residence halls at Hunter, the price could be a little bit more than the average tuition, which is about $7,300 per year before dorming. With dorming, it's different for each one, but it's about $10,000 extra per year. Just so you know, that they do all have laundry facilities, they have kitchen facilities, 24-hour security. So it's great to meet people, but it's not required to do that at Hunter. Also, I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast. I will try not to do that too much. We do have great study abroad programs, and I believe we're also CUNY and SUNY affiliated with a bunch of different programs. So there's a lot of different things that are available depending on what you would like. So you can go away for a year or for a semester or for a week. If you would like to, you could take classes that go towards your degree, or you can take foreign languages or volunteer or something. It's a great opportunity, especially if you wanted to stay home and go to a CUNY school. I highly recommend it. It's something I really wish I did, but I don't know why I didn't. I think I was afraid of the pricing. But there is financial aid available for students who qualify for it, and scholarships if you are a really high achieving student and you have high grades. It's very possible to get that once you are in college. So don't be afraid of that. Just ask, because you never know what kind of opportunities you can get with that. So for support services, we do have advising for everyone, 4 libraries on campus, but if you're a CUNY student, you have access to all the libraries in CUNY. We have personal counseling and a health wellness center. One of the most important places to me is the Career Development Services office. That's something that you can go to for advice on your resume and your cover letters, and they can help you apply for internships and jobs while you're in college. And they just started an alumni network, so you're able to connect with the school after you graduate for jobs. So that's really important to me, and it's never too early to go there, because they can help you with essentially everything, and probably things that I forget about and not mentioning. For scholarship opportunities, we have the Macaulay program and we have the Freshman Scholars program. Macaulay is the top honors college in CUNY, and Hunter is one of the campuses. So they give you a full ride tuition. You have your own honors advisor, priority access to course registration, and you have 1 year of the Brookdale Residence Hall that you can go into. The Freshman Scholars program is very similar, except it's not a full ride of tuition, and the scholarship changes every year. So I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to lie to you, but it's all the same perks, except you're part of a cohort, depending on what your interest is. So you don't necessarily have to major in visual and performing arts in order to be part of that cohort. You just have to show a strong interest. We also have, what is it called? Oh my God, I'm blanking on it. It's equivalent to EOP and HEOP. Why am I SEEK? It's called SEEK. I'm sorry, I blanked on that so hard. It's called SEEK at Hunter, and SEEK is available at all the 4-year CUNY schools. And I know Hostess is going to mention this. College Discovery is at the 2-year CUNY schools, and we're equivalent to EOP and HEOP for SUNY and privates. So SEEK is at Hunter, and we have the Freshman Scholars Program and general admissions. So the average student has an 88 to 94 GPA. Honors students have 93 to 97. I think in August, we're going to find out what kind of SAT requirements we'll have. But so far, I've been telling students they should take it if they're safe and they're able to, because I'm not sure what Hunter wants to do or if CUNY is going to decide something for everybody again. But the average SAT is between 1190 and 1360. I don't have my contact info in these slides, so I'll put it in the chat. If you have questions, please let me know. And I think Albany is next.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Shannon Burrows. I am one of the admissions counselors for undergraduate admissions at UAlbany. What I'm going to do is just share my screen. Just give me one moment. All right. So University at Albany, we are one of the SUNYs, one of the 60 plus, as Craig mentioned earlier. We are also one of the university centers, which not only gives you the opportunity to earn your bachelor's degree, but you can also earn your master's degree or even move forward into a PhD program. We are located in Albany, New York, which is about, I'll say, less than 2.5 hours from the city. It just really depends on how quickly you can get across that George Washington Bridge to get on the good old highway. So definitely fairly easy to get to. We also have Megabus, Trailways, as well as Greyhound that stops directly on campus. And we also have availability to take Amtrak as well. They stop actually on at Rensselaer Station in Rensselaer, New York, which is about 15-20 minutes away from the campus. As you can see here, I'm just showing you a nice little aerial view of the academic side of campus. We are, I would say, a medium-sized school. One side of it is mainly our athletic complex. So you have the big athletic building where you can, take your Zumba classes or even, the cycling. I'm not a workouter, so please forgive me on that part, but if you like to work out, you definitely will be covered in all of those areas, as well as, of course, if you're interested in sports and things. But here, this is our academic side. As you can see in the center, we have a big old cement structure there, and that's pretty much our academic podium. That's where about, I would say, 90% of your classes will be. We do have 2 other campuses that's not too far from this location. I would say, if anything, about 10 minutes, you really just riding down the street to the next couple campuses. The other 2 is our downtown campus as well as our west side campus. And they mainly house majors within computer science or engineering, our public health and administration, as well as social welfare and emergency preparedness, homeland security, and cybersecurity is housed down there. So if anyone is interested in any of those programs, probably majority of your courses during your junior or senior year will be located down there. But as I said, it's literally about down the street. If you haven't caught already, Albany is pretty much a smaller city. I call it a smaller New York City. I'm originally from the Bronx, so it was a fair way of transitioning from a big city with all of the concrete buildings to this format, mainly because even with looking at this photo, if you travel 15 minutes, you'll have the nice little city area that they do have, but don't blink too long. You probably be out of it, but it is definitely a nice size area, very diverse campus, as well as, a diverse off of campus. But just back to the academic podium, as I said, this is pretty much where you would be taking all of your general courses, if anything. And of course, if you're not in any of those programs that I mentioned at the other campuses, then you will spend all of your time in this lovely academic podium. In the 4 corners here, you will also see our residential quads. They call them quads because it's multiple residential halls within each quad. The 2 that's pictured, that's our sophomore quads. And then the 2 that's not so pictured, those are our freshman quads. Suite style, and so you would be sharing a common area as well as a restroom with about 3 other people. So it's 2 bedrooms, and of course double occupancy. With our residential halls, we also have dining within 3 of the 4 residential halls. You have full access to all of the dining halls. All of our incoming new students, they have unlimited swipes, so you can go in and out as you please as long as the dining hall is open. I always just like to throw that in there for the foodies because I am one as well. Also with our residential halls, as you can also see, not too far from the academic podium. So if you're not one that likes to travel too far to go to class and want a little extra 5 minutes of sleep, you can definitely do that here on campus, especially if you're a good New York walker. You can get there pretty quick. Also available is our campus center. There, of course, located is our bookstore and a lot of other food options. We're really big on the food court, so a lot of diverse foods. If you need a nutritionist, they have one that will be able to work with you if you have specific dietary needs. Meal plans that can be set up if you have special like allergies and things of that nature. You can have your meals fixed up and different things like that. So this is a nice little general thing. I'm not going to dive too long into it before I finish up all of my time. We are also a research university, so you have a lot of opportunities there. You can start as early as during your freshman year and get involved. Our faculty is definitely those that work within the field, and so they have their own research projects that they may be working on, and they love pulling their students into that. And I always like to throw that in because it's a great way to network. We always encourage networking, right? Not a big school, as I said, not too big, about 13,000 undergrads. We try to keep we are really big on community, and so we try to keep our classes as small as possible. Of course, some may be lecture hall style classrooms, but that's usually dedicated kind of to the general courses. But of course, as you move forward within your major, your classes could definitely get a lot smaller. But we definitely make sure that each of our students, they receive the direct care that they would definitely need in order to get through this lovely phase. And of course, our average class size is about 31. 50 undergraduate majors. We also have about 70 undergraduate minors, along with 150 graduate level programs. Now, if you have any interest in having multiple majors or even a major or a minor, this is all stuff that you can definitely work out with your academic advisor. Of course, when you're applying, you can choose whichever major that you are interested in. We do not review for your major, so it's a holistic read and reading for the intent of just admitting you into UAlbany so that when you come in, you can get to know your major a little bit more. So that you can officially declare your major at the end of your sophomore year. Now, if you're undecided, that is fine as well. We kind of see all students as undecided. So if you're undecided, feel free to put that on your application. Don't feel shame. As you can see here, we have a wide range of different programs that you can go to. Of course, if anything, if you have any interest whatsoever in moving forward into a graduate or a master's degree, you can definitely work on that with your academic advisor. This is not anything that you need to figure out right now, especially not during the time of applying for undergrad. But do know those options is definitely there for you, and you can speak with your advisor about that. We also have some accelerated tracks where you can actually start taking your graduate level programs during your senior year so that you shave some time when you move forward into graduate school. And then also here we have our pre-professional program. So if you are interested in the health field or maybe even law, even though UAlbany itself does not have a medical school or law school, we do have the opportunity where you can work on taking the courses that's needed to move forward into your desired medical school or law school. And then also we have partnerships with local schools as well as other schools within the SUNY community for you to apply to as well. So if you do have, of course, any interest in any of these programs, I highly recommend visiting our website. Of course, I'll definitely drop some of that information down in the chat once I'm done. As far as activities on campus, as Ann Lanza said, I was really not a social person as well. So that's really funny how we both end up in this field. But it is definitely something that we encourage. We highly encourage it. This is the best way for you to network, just get to know people and just pass your time and actually feel like when you 10 years down the line that you had fun in college. And so this is definitely a great way, whatever you may be interested in, whether it's major specific or even just just a love for zombies, there's a there's a club for it. And of course, if you go through all 300 and notice that none of them you're interested in, you are more than welcome to work with the student involvement office, and they will help you in creating your own club or organization. We also, of course, Division I in our athletics. If you do have any interest in any of our Division I athletic teams, I encourage you to visit our athletic department's website. There you will find the contact information for the representatives of the sport you're interested in, so that they can go over any scouting and recruitment efforts and whatnot. If you're not interested in Division I, we do also have competitive clubs, sports, as well as intramural that you can also be involved in. And there's even more variety in that, including rugby or just running. If you just like to run, you can run. All right. Also, our application process, we are available via the Common App or the SUNY app. So whichever one that you choose is fine. I do like to just throw out there, if you do the SUNY app, make sure that you submit that second part so we can get to know you better. As far as our reviewing goes, as I said, we are holistic readers. So this is just giving you pretty much a snapshot of what we have admitted in on the majority scale. But of course, not all students may have that 89 average, but have done exceptionally well in their school. Maybe some schools that are a little bit more rigor than other schools and things of that nature. So we do take all of those things into account when we are reviewing. Here is also our SATs and ACT scores. Unfortunately, still haven't heard back from SUNY just yet on whether we will still be test optional when you're seniors, but when y'all come in fall 2022. But of course, just keep your eye out on our website. If you're on our mailing list or anything of that nature, you will be notified as soon as we find out. Also with review, of course, we also take into account if you have taken any college level courses or any APs. We do take transfer credit as long as you have a C grade or higher. APs is around a 3 score or higher on the AP exam. We do also have EOP. So if you are interested in applying for EOP, just make sure you submit that one application and make sure that you put that you're interested in EOP. If you would like to learn more about UAlbany, we definitely have a ton of options for you. Of course, this is going to be really quick and you're not getting all of the information that you would like, but if you would like to sit in on an information session, we do have all of those available as well, Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock. Campus tours, virtual, at 3 o'clock Monday through Friday. And of course, we do also offer in-person tours. They'll start back up in June. So if you want to, you can definitely start stalking the website probably around the second week of June for any in-person campus tours. And then of course, if you would like to meet with an admissions counselor virtually and one-on-one, you can definitely sign up for one of those as well. And you can even sign up just for us to give you a call. Okay. And that's, I think I did all right. All right. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to the undergraduate admissions office. I will make sure I will definitely put my direct contact in the chat for you guys. And I wish you all the best. Please stay focused. And I tip my hat off to you guys for doing such an exceptional job, especially in this time period.
Hello, everyone. I think it's my turn. So let me just quickly share my screen with you. And my name is Catherine Henry. I'm an admissions advisor at Hostels Community College. So I believe I'm the only community college presenting today. So this is going to be interesting very much. Here we go. All right. So Hostels Community College, part of the City University of New York. We are located right in the Bronx. I'm gonna try to do this presentation as short as possible so we can go into Q&As later on with all of the other colleges and institutions. So like I said, Hostels Community College, part of the City University of New York, located right in the beginning of the Bronx, South Bronx. What to say about hostels? We are a very small community college, very family-friendly environment. Our population currently is a little bit over 6,000 students, so our average class size is also relatively small, is between 15 and 22 students per class, unless you're taking one of those amazing science classes that are usually very crowded, very populated. But when it comes to the application process, we are, like I said, part of the City University of New York, so we have one application for all. When you submit your CUNY application as a freshman, you have the opportunity to apply up to 6 different CUNY colleges with the same application fee. You don't have to submit a separate application or separate fees. The deadlines for the application for the upcoming fall 2022 semester, that will be next year, will be February 1st, and that is the same every year. So for the fall semester, deadline is February 1st. For the spring semester, deadline is September 15th. Let's see, in terms of our programs, we are very well known for our allied health programs. Our allied health programs include nursing, RN, and LPN. Dental hygiene, we have one of the very few dental hygiene programs in the city. And also we have radiologic technology. We have a great articulation agreement with all of the CUNY colleges, but we also have articulation agreements with other institutions, especially when it comes to allied health. For example, in the case of our dental hygiene program, we have a great articulation agreement with NYU and also with City Tech and Farmingdale, if I remember correctly, where all your 70 credits will go with you if you are seeking to pursue a BA in dental hygiene. Then we also have articulation agreements with City College for engineering. Engineering is one of the most difficult programs to get admitted into in the state of New York. And because we know that, we also have this dual degree program where you will start with hostels, you will complete your associate's degree in engineering, you will be taking your intro courses in engineering, and then your last year you will be taking courses both at hostels and at City College. But if you don't want to transfer to City, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to. Everything depends on you as a student if you decide to come to hostels. We also have programs in digital design and animation, digital music, and we have the only game design program in the city of New York. So like I said, I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. So if I miss something, feel free to ask questions, and I'll be sharing my contact information at the end. Just like I believe it was Annie that mentioned that Hunter has SICK, which is the equivalent to EOP or HEOP at hostels and all of the community colleges within the CUNY system is called CD or College Discovery. But besides that, we also have ASAP, which is a program that helps you complete your associate's degree within the traditional 2 years frame. If there is a balance on your tuition and you are a New York City resident, they will cover for that balance. They'll pay for your books. They will give you a monthly Metro card as well. You get to register for classes early. You will be able to take courses during your first year as part of a cohort, so you start your networking, etc. We also have a great tutoring center. We call it the Hulk, and they tutor for all subjects. Typically in college, you will find that tutoring is mostly focused on English, mathematics, and the sciences, but at hostels, tutoring is for all subjects. And you don't have to worry like, okay, who's going to be my tutor? Is it going to be a classmate of mine? No, all of our tutors are actually professors or graduate students in the same field that you are seeking tutoring in. If you are a student that is interested in developing your leadership skills, then we have the Hostels Leadership Academy, and they have this amazing program that you can be part of throughout your entire time at hostels. Then just like all of the colleges and institutions in the United States, we also have career services, and they will be assisting you with resume building, mock interview. They will even teach you how to do your hair and makeup for an interview. And if you don't have clothing for your interview, they have this great closet that you can go to and borrow clothes. Just wash it before you return it. But they will lend you whatever clothing you need to attend your interview for whatever internship or even a job a job interview that you may have. So let's see. In these amazing times that we are living, we all need some sort of counseling because mental health is so important. So we also have a counseling center that you are available to visit. Right now, they are offering counseling virtual, and they have um, psychologists and also psychiatrists available to see you, as well as social workers that will be assisting you throughout all this time. And during midterms and finals, that is so important because we have a tendency to just lose our heads during that time. And they will be there to help you just to remain calm, and someone just to talk to. We also have single stop in case you are seeking to get additional services, and they will be able to assist you with that. If you are a traditional student that won't be part of ASAP or part of College Discovery, then you will have your success coaches that will be assisting you in class registration and advisement for classes and for your programs. Let's see. Where am I going? Okay, here we go. So tuition, as part of the City University of New York, our tuition per year is $5,208 per year, and that's as a full-time student, including the fees. If I remove the fees, then it will be $4,800, but then when you see your bill and it's more than that, you will have this tendency as a student to inquire, why is my bill more than what it is advertised? And it's because you have to pay fees, like technology fees, consolidated fees, student fees, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what adds up on the tuition. This is a flat tuition rate. It won't go up as long as the governor allows us to keep our traditional tuition for the year. And in CUNY, you have the opportunity to take between 12 and 18 credits, and the tuition remains the same. If you are a hostel student, but you would like to take, let's say, a course in Hunter because your plans are to transfer to one of the Hunter's amazing, social work programs in the future, you are able to take a class so you can start getting to know the environment through a program CUNY has called e-permit. It's just permission that you get to take a course at a different CUNY college. And it's not like Hunter is going to charge you extra. You'll be paying your tuition at hostels as the traditional tuition that you'll be paying with us, which is a little bit lower than the tuition at Hunter. So just if you decide to attend a community college within the CUNY system, try to take advantage of that. And this is a little slide on our demographic from the past year. Just like, I believe this is a US-wide thing. Most of our students are female. So if you are a male in the room and you would like to come to our college, just know, like my supervisor had the tendency to say, you might see more females in the classroom than men. And then in terms of sports, we offer women basketball and volleyball, men basketball, and we have a brand new co-ed esports for you. And last year was the first year that we started to go into co-ed. And let me see, what did I do? Of course, I'm just playing games with my computer apparently. Just wanted to show you my contact information just so I don't have to type it in the chat. But here's my contact information. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me. If I don't answer, just leave me a voice message and I'll try to call you right back. We are servicing students virtually currently. We have a great virtual office. You just have to sign up and then just visit us during our virtual office hours, which are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4:45, and then Thursdays we close at 6:45. So you can just sign in and jump in at any time throughout the day if you would like to speak with one of our admissions advisors, including myself. I'm gonna stop sharing right now. And I believe the last person will be Wendy from Morgan State, if I remember correctly.
Yep, that's right. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen right now. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Wendy. I am the Diversity Admissions Officer here at Morgan State University. I just want to say thank you for being here again, and a bigger thanks for choosing to invest in your futures. I'm sure you're very excited about your future college career, hopefully as excited as little man right here is. If not, hopefully by the end of this presentation you will be. So here at Morgan State University, our motto is growing the future, leading the world. I'm sure that we have some potential world leaders here in the chat right now. So let's go ahead and go over our undergraduate admission and recruitment process. So Morgan State University, it is the largest HBCU in Maryland. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Maryland, but we are about, I want to say 4 hours south of New York. I'm not exactly sure how many hours it is. I've been there a couple times, but just a brief history. Discovered in 1867 as a Centenary Biblical Institute, so we do come from very humble beginnings. We still have the same values today. Somewhere down the line, we were established as a university in 1975, so we have been around for over 150 years. As I mentioned before, I'm the Diversity Admissions Officer here at Morgan State, so I can say that we take an immense amount of pride in our diverse student body. We've quadrupled the Hispanic population since 2007, I want to say, ranked in the top 25 schools for women and Hispanics, so that just goes to show how much more diverse we are becoming with our student body, and not just ethnically and culturally either. There's really a place for everybody here at our school. We have people coming from many different backgrounds. If you're interested in a medium-sized institution, Morgan State is a great option for you because we are at about 8,000 students with the 18-to-1 student to professor ratio. We find that this is what creates the atmosphere very excellence-driven and familial, because you are going to be known by your name, not just by your student ID number. You're going to be making lifelong friendships because you're going to be known by your name, as I mentioned, and the class sizes are not very big. But I will say, even though we are located in the residential area of Baltimore City, it's not very loud. It's a pretty quiet area, and we are a medium-sized institution. We are only 15 minutes away from downtown Baltimore City. It's a very colorful city. I'm not sure if anyone's been there before, but it's a great place to hang out. I still hang out there, and I graduated a long time ago, but here in Baltimore, you're going to find art, culture, food, live music. There's so many things to do in the city as well. So you really get the best of both worlds if you decide to come to our school. All right, so as you can see, we have high state and national rankings, and this is across the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate's level. But I do want to bring your attention to the Fulbright Scholars here at the top. We are the first among all HBCUs to award these scholarships, Fulbright Scholars, to students, which basically means you can study whatever major you choose, and you can do it in a country abroad. There's a long list of countries to choose from. We also have a study abroad program, but this one's a little bit different because you can study any major of your choosing. So make sure that you look into that. I always say college is a great time to travel the world because after you graduate, you know you're going to want to hit the ground running, start those careers. So what better time than while you're in school? And just a little bit of university vocabulary. If you get accepted to Morgan State University, you are considered a Morgan State student. Depending on your major, you're going to fall under one of the different schools and colleges. Here's a list of them right here. So just for example, if you're a theater major, you would fall under the College of Liberal Arts. If you are a nursing major, you fall under the School of Community Health and Policy. And these are all buildings that are on our campus. You're not going to be driving all over the state to get from one to the other. So if you want to just take a moment and see if the major that you are interested in is in the list of the bachelor's degree programs, this is our list of bachelor's programs right here. You can find this list on the website as well. But I will say, if you are undecided, that's completely okay. College is the time to find out what you want to do with the rest of your life. So I always recommend, if you can, the first year, take a variety of different courses because you never know where one class is going to lead you. Our application process is pretty standard right now. As you can see, for first-time freshmen, all we need is the online application. Make sure when you go online to morgan.edu apply now, you fill out the right application and check whether you want to be test optional or not. I'm not sure if we're doing test optional yet either. I think they are also debating about it right now, but this is where we are right now. If it is a thing in the future, you would only need to submit a transcript from all your previous institutions as well as your application, SAT scores, your essay and letter of recommendation. If you think that those are going to give you a leg up when you apply, go ahead and submit those as well. I don't think we have international students in here, but it is nice to know that some of our students do come from out of the country, even out of Maryland. 35% of our student body is from outside of Maryland. So it is a good opportunity to network with people from different backgrounds. We take great amount of pride in our honors college as well. The good thing about the honors college is that if you do get accepted into it, you are an honors student, you are able to get access to partial and full scholarships that other students do not have access to. And then you also have the opportunity to stay in the co-ed dorms, the co-ed residence halls, I'm sorry, and that's not an option for all students either. So right now, since it's test optional, all we need is a 3.5 if you don't want to submit your SAT scores. But if we go back to the original way of doing it, it's going to be a 3.3. Well, if you, everyone in here is probably out of Maryland residents, so it'll be a 3.4 GPA with a 1310 SAT. And if you do decide to transfer, I think this might be just a transfer incentive program for Maryland community colleges. I'm not sure, but if you just decide to go to community college and get your associate's degree first and then transfer, and if these are one of your majors, we do have a transfer incentive grant, where you can earn up to $10,000 over 5 semesters. You can get more information about that here at the undergrad admissions/tip. Oh, and I also forgot to mention before, with the honors college, you don't have to do anything separate in the application process. You can use your same general admission application. The admissions office will look at that application and from there determine whether you are a honors referral or not. And then the honors department will contact you. All right, so we're pretty transparent with our room fees, tuition, and all the fees here. As you can see, as I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure everyone's non-resident, so it's going to be around $14,400 per semester, and that includes everything. I think the cost might have gone up a little bit, but this is around the ballpark where you're going to pay. Make sure that you pay attention to how much you're going to be spending and how much you're going to get in grants, because sometimes not every school is very transparent about their fees, and you might get a large grant and find that it doesn't even cover tuition. So make sure you look at all schools, no matter where you decide to go, that's something that you're paying attention to. Here at Morgan State, you can get a rich education at a great price while also having access to financial aid. As you can see, it's not too late, even though the deadline might have passed already for FAFSA, it's not too late to add our school if you want. This is our school code right here. It's still important to add the school for institutional aid, so make sure you get more information about that on the financial aid website or on our financial aid page as well. And make sure you stay on top of those FAFSA emails, because they could be requesting more documentation and you don't even know, and you don't want to miss out on that. All right, so here at Morgan State, we have so many options in residence halls. As you can see, it's recommended to go on the residence hall site so you can see which one matches your lifestyle the best. Our residence halls are also a great place to live. Our students take so much pride in their own residence halls as well. They have competitions. We have dining halls in all of our residence halls. It's a great view of the city because we're kind of on a hill, so the dorms are a little on the top of the hill, I guess, so you can see a good view of the city as well. All right, and just as we look at our students holistically when they are applying, we also make sure to take care of them holistically once they get here. We know the transition from high school to college is not always the easiest, especially during the state of our environment right now. As you can see, we have options in student health services. We have an insurance plan. We have a counseling center. The counseling center is virtual right now. We do offer remote counseling services. We have a crisis hotline, tools, tips, workshops, recommendations to make sure that everyone is staying mentally, emotionally, physically balanced. We have a campus dietitian. As you can see, options in physical activities that promote holistic health and wellness. So we want to make sure that everybody is balanced in all areas of their life to be able to be successful in their academics. And the student life, this is where the fun starts, of course, as other counselors have recommended. I would say the same thing. It's very important to get involved in your school's organizations. Just anything really. We have over 100 organizations here at our school. Division I sports, this is some of our more popular clubs, fraternities and sororities. As you can see, it's really important to get involved because this is where you're going to network, you're going to make your tribe, you're going to brush up on those hobbies that you wouldn't do in school, and it's all part of a growing experience. So it's really important to get involved. If you don't see something that sparks your interest, we make it so easy for you to start your own organization. In fact, we encourage it because, like I said before, there's a place for everybody here at our school. And here's just a collage of the Bear family, pre-COVID, of course. As you can see, you are going to get a full college experience here at Morgan State because we know that growth happens beyond the classroom as well. And I know this presentation does not capture the beauty of our campus. I wish that I could show this campus tour right now, but it is extremely long. It's very interactive. It's a really, really amazing tour. You can go into the buildings, go around the whole campus virtually. You can learn a little bit more about student life and history. So please go ahead and register for this, and you can see a little bit more of our school. So this is just my contact page right here. If you have any questions, you can direct them to admissions@morgan.edu. If you want to apply, morgan.edu/apply now. This is my email right here. I know it's kind of long, so I'm gonna put it in the chat as well, just so you guys can get to it easily. And yeah, so if you have any questions, I'll save them for the end as well, even though I think this is the end. So I don't know what order we want to go in answering questions, but thank you guys again for your time.
Well, thanks everybody. That was fabulous. And I feel like we got to learn a lot about the different schools, and I appreciated the visuals and all the presentations. Appreciate all the people who were answering questions as we were going. That was helpful as well. Any questions answered, I will definitely copy and paste those into a document and share with everyone. But I wanted to ask a couple that were sort of maybe more general, that maybe weren't answered. So let's look, some good ones. So a lot of students were asking a lot about internships and networking opportunities at different schools, which I'm happy about because that's something I care a lot about. So I don't know if any schools wanted to elaborate on their internship or networking opportunities that you have. A lot of students I know are interested in nursing and different programs like that too. So anything you could shed light on.
Yeah, I'll start. First off, that is a great start for all of you who are asking about internships, because if you're asking about it now, you're going to be doing internships no matter where you go. All of our schools probably have different formats and programs and people to speak to about that. But the biggest thing is you want to ask that question. Even as a first-year student, as a freshman on campus, ask, right? You might be interning on campus in one of our offices. That works for a lot of us. That helps us all run our institution. Sometimes that's paid job opportunities too. But then our career development centers, our professional development centers typically run programs that get you geared up to be ready to apply for those internships, getting your cover letter and interview skills set. And then there's the employers who show up on our campus, or in some cases where we might have what we would call field trips, where we bring you to those places so you can get that familiarity. So I know I'm giving a very general answer, but it all starts with asking. The second step would be showing up, because you're going to hear specifically through your email that there's events going on geared around internships and jobs. Go to them, even again as a first-year student, and this will set the tone for the years that follow. Often though, just for clarity's sake, your junior level internships, when you're like sophomore year going into junior year, that summertime, or junior year going into senior year, those are the big time internship opportunities. So you want to make sure you're getting some smaller experiences first, so you're ready for those bigger opportunities, which often become your first job offers in the future. It all starts with asking those questions.
Ditto.
I was going to say, I think specifically maybe for Ms. Baldwin for Alfred State, I know that, Alfred states very about a lot about hands-on learning and stuff, like specifically for you guys, like what are like some of your most popular majors and how do students get that hands-on kind of experience with those?
Had to unmute myself. Okay, the experiences at Alfred, basically the popular majors right now are nursing, forensic science, the engineering areas. And we do have internships in the summer. We encourage students to take advantage of that. And then with the applied technology areas, all of our students are working hands-on 5 days a week, the entire day. So we don't offer internships with those programs, but they have a lot of work experience. And when they go from Alfred, they're ready to work.
Okay, good to know. We've had a couple students ask about, as for different schools, about disability services. I mean, we have students who have learning disabilities, things like that. Does anyone have any major thoughts about their, their disability program, student disabilities, or Office of Student Disabilities, or have any special programs for students with disabilities?
I'll jump on this one just to get us started. So in CUNY, this is the same all across. Everyone has disability services available. Problem is that we cannot go around asking, do you have a disability? So students need to self-identify themselves. We are not going to ask a student if the student has a disability. By law, we cannot do that. So the student have to self-identify themselves once they are admitted to the college. That way they can be directed to the appropriate office. At Hostels, our disability services office is called ARC. They don't call it disabilities, they call it Accessibility Resource Center. And they offer services, everything from allowing you to bring a pet to school all the way to getting extra time to complete your assignments. But that's something that your professors won't simply just give you if you are not part of a disability or accessibility resource center at your home college.
Okay, I don't know if anyone else had anything else to add. Since we have 2 HBCUs on our panel, which is new for us, which is exciting. I know we've gotten a lot of questions about the goal of your HBCU or kind of what makes you kind of stand out as an HBCU. I was wondering if we could hear from them about kind of those topics and what they could kind of tell students about what experience in HBCU may be like different than another kind of school.
Hi, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. My son is.
It's okay. I see Mr. Soler unmuted himself, but I don't know if we can't hear him if he's talking. Our Delaware State Rep, if he's still here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I was talking the whole time and it wasn't working. Yeah, so my experience with Delaware State University and HBCUs overall, I did not attend an HBCU. I wish I did personally. But just my experience working for one and interacting with the students and working with the students on campus. The one thing I can tell you about a historically Black college and university, we are for them. I hate to use the word minority because technically we're the majority now, but we are for Black, African American, Latinos, Asian, any type of minorities that you want to consider a minority. The thing about it is in society, we have a lot of bad stigmas that we carry, right? As Latinos, as Blacks, and especially in our cities. And it's kind of hard to escape the negativity that's wrapped around us in our inner city. So for us to all come together on one campus and be together all for one positive goal and look to the left and look to the right and see people that look like you and can relate to your experiences, whether you're from the Bronx, from Philadelphia, from Baltimore, from downtown DC, It's a beautiful thing that you come together for one positive goal, which is bettering your lives, earning a degree, and continuing your education. And for a lot of us, we are first generation college students. So that's my experience with an HBCU personally.
Okay, very nice. It's definitely a good thing to hear for HBCUs.
Yeah, and then also just to add to that as well, just because most HBCUs do come from humble roots, because of, I mean, the reasons that they have opened is because of just giving opportunities to the minorities to be able to get the same education as other people. These values stay instilled in the roots of the school, and it kind of teaches students the same values as well, and instills those same values into our student body as well, which I think is important. And then at the same time, since it is such a diverse school and we embrace so much culture and diversity, it, the social issues aren't as it's kind of like you are in I don't want to say a utopia, but it's like everybody is there for getting educated. It's not really, you're not distracted by who looks like what or anything like that. It's just so diverse that there's a place for everyone, no matter what your race is.
One question that I think that was a good question actually came from a student in the chat box. Anyone able to talk about the community at your school? Like, is it family? Is it super competitive among students? Does it kind of vary? I think that's a great question to kind of get students to kind of know where they would fit in at a school.
Well, I can say that our school, the student body is pretty familial. It's like a big bear family at Morgan State, but we do get competitive in certain ways. It's all for fun. I think a little competition is healthy.
Yeah, the same for UAlbany. One of the things that attracted me, I didn't attend UAlbany, but what attracted me was how friendly the campus was, and that's including the staff, which is usually the important part. The staff being so intertwined with the student community, like we all in some kind of way work with the students as well. So you may see me working with you guys or with you high school students, but I'm also working with a lot of our current students, and it just gives me an even wider range of getting to know the community, and that also ranges within the classroom as well as within the clubs and organizations that you have going on campus. So it's definitely one of those, and we do have that friendly competition that it plays, but it's usually towards other schools. Binghamton.
As we're closing up the evening, I was wondering if anyone can give some advice to our junior class on the things that they should be focusing on right now and in the summer to prepare for in the fall. What are some things that definitely they should be on the lookout for to help build their applications?
Well, I'll first start with you're doing the right things now by even tuning in tonight, right? So you got to embrace what you have in front of you. And frankly, for the juniors right now, you have more resources than anybody else before you in the sense of seeing schools, right? You can see things that we were never able to show you before. Like you're seeing 7 schools here. There's plenty more to go explore by even just tuning into our different sessions. Go to our own Zoom sessions that we all host. Do a couple a week. That's motivation, because that's what that's going to do to you, is make sure that you are on track come the fall time. You know what schools you might want to apply to. You already have a good sense and a feel for it. You're not panicking about it because you did your research. Use that as sort of like the reward for the work that you're going to be doing now over the summer. You're going to want to start honing in on what these college essays may look like and who you might want to ask for a letter recommendation if you haven't done that part yet, right? For getting into these schools that you're getting all excited about. But try to make sure you're setting aside time now to, again, embrace what you have. Again, this is not something that used to be there. Yeah, students last year got to see some of these virtual sessions, but we're getting better and better at that from the college side. So make sure you're checking them out, because that's going to answer a lot of the questions that you don't even know you have yet. And then what that's ultimately going to do is spark some more questions that you could actually talk to us about. That looks good in the long run. If we're having a conversation with you, even before you apply, we know who you are, right? And you want colleges to know who you are before you get to that point.
I think it's one of the things that worried me a lot is like wanting to know what I want to do with my life. Sometimes I still don't know, honestly. And I think like my mom still doesn't know, actually. She changes jobs a lot. She's in the other room, but you know, she can't hear me. But it's okay to be undecided. I know a lot of people said that you can be undecided for a little bit of time while you're at the colleges, but it's completely okay. I also changed my mind on what I wanted to do with my life at the end of college. So just because I had a degree in English doesn't mean I have to just do things related to English or teaching, because everyone thought I was going to become a teacher and something similar, but not teaching. So it's okay to not know what you would like to do, but that's the point of exploring colleges that are interesting to you.
Well, if no one else has something to add, kind of add to that, which I think was two really great points from both of our presenters. Any questions that maybe you guys have additionally, please feel free to reach out to the reps themselves. They gave you their contact information. They're opening the door for questions. So definitely take advantage of that, or you can always clearly reach out to your counselor. We have all their contact information to ask them again. And I've copied and pasted the question and answers from the chat, the box and everything to share out with you guys as well. But I think we should all give our lovely presenters a virtual round of applause. They were all awesome, and I think we had a really great diverse group. But yeah, I think this was, really informative. Thank you guys so much. And to all the students and parents on here, thank you for attending. And again, if you have any further questions or anything, please feel free to actually reach out to your counselor or the reps themselves. We hope everyone has a great rest of your evening. And all our juniors, please look out in the morning for an assignment based on their presentations.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your time. Thank you, scholars and families, for joining us. We hope this was informative, and we're excited to take this journey with you.
Happy to be here, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Pay attention to what your counselors have to say, because they know us quite well, and we know all of you via them. So pay attention to what you're getting instruction-wise. That's going to be your biggest aid going forward. So have a good night, everybody. Good to see you all tuning in.
And to all our presenters, if you guys would be kind enough to share maybe your presentations or videos with me after this, so I can share them out to our students, that would be awesome. And thank you for coming.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Mama.